All right, it's 7 o'clock. We'll call this meeting to order. Roll call, Ella, please.
Kevin Peters.
Here.
Spencer Dow.
Here.
Jim Whitaker.
Here.
Larry Bennett.
Here.
Cecilia Paulson. Here. Jim Wolfram.
Here.
Jamie Phillips.
Here.
Bill Wiggins.
All right. Mr. David Corley is going to do our invocation today, and then Jim Wolfram will do the pledge.
You would bow your heads and close your eyes, please. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we come here tonight, Lord, we just ask you, Lord, for your wisdom, your understanding, Lord, that will help us to have ears that will hear, hearts that will listen, and Lord, that peace and temperance will be the forefront of everyone's thoughts here this evening. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity that we have to come and do this in this forum tonight, Lord, and we ask you this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll start with a public comment.
There's 4 on the list, and the first one is April Bohannon.
All right. Do me a favor and turn that mic on for me. That way Facebook can hear you.
He said, my name is April Swallows Bohannon. I am the member of the Civil Service Board. I was elected by the city employees. And the reason I gave you my maiden name is my dad was Lester Swallows. He was an employee for the city from October 1974 until his passing in January of 2008. Also, I am the sister of Russell Swallows. He currently works for the city. And as a child, I remember my dad making comments about losing his job because of an election. I didn't understand until John Henry Bowden became mayor. Miss Ella told you the story about Miss Debbie Stevens losing her job. She wasn't the only one to lose her job because of a mayor or alderman. There were others, and it was a revolving door. If you will look back into history before and after the Civil Service Board was established, you will see the difference in the turnover rate of our employees. I also don't understand why this administration, or I should say some of it in this administration, would want to do away with a board that totally volunteers our time. It doesn't cost the taxpayers a dime. I and my other 2 board members volunteer. We do not receive a check at the end of the year for our volunteer time. So I would like for it to be explained why you would get rid of a board that has been pretty much successful in hiring, disciplinarian, and firing for this town for free. You have good employees that have dedicated many, many years to this city. And they do not deserve to worry about losing their job because of ulterior motive or the benefit of what the board wants. Because they know, and I know, that if there was not a civil service board, many of them that would lose their job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Larry Bates is next on the list.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name's Larry Bates. Most of you know me. I've been here with the city now for over 20 years. Establishing a civil service system for the police department is a good idea because it promotes fairness, professionalism, and accountability in how officers are hired, promoted, and disciplined. Under a civil service system, employment decisions are based on merit, qualifications, and performance rather than favoritism, politics, and personal relationships. This helps ensure that the most capable and qualified individuals serve in the department and that officers are treated consistently under clear rules and procedures. Civil service also provides a due process protections. which means officers have the right to a fair review. If disciplinary action is taken, this protects both the officer and the department by ensuring decisions are transparent and defensible. At the same time, it helps maintain a higher standard because policies and expectations are clearly defined and applied equally. For the community, the civil service system strengthens public trust. When citizens know that officers are selected, promoted, and disciplined through a structured and impartial process, it reinforces the confidence that the department operates with integrity, professionalism, rather than political influence. In short, the civil service system helps build a stable, professional police force where decisions are based on merit, fairness, and accountability, benefiting officers, leadership, and the community that we serve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Vaughn Hodge.
Hello, my name's Yvonne Hodge and I'm the water clerk and I've been here for 10 years this month. And as an employee, I am concerned that the current Board of Aldermen is in the process of trying to do away with our Civil Service Board. I have watched and observed how our Civil Service Board operates. It is made up of 3 board members, one chosen by the employees, one chosen by the Board of Aldermen, and from those 2 which have been chosen, they choose the 3rd member. Before hiring a position, the Civil Service Board always discusses with the department head all the qualifications which are needed for the position at hand. Sometimes a good friend or a family member may be the most qualified for the position. If this is ever the case, then it is up to the Civil Service Board to decide who gets the job. This is the only fair way to make such a decision. The Civil Service Board also protects the existing employees as well. No mayor or board of aldermen or department head can come into office and fire any employee from their position without due cause. A Civil Service Board is much needed in a small town such as ours to keep everyone in check and make sure decisions are honestly being made. My question to anyone who would want to dismantle our Civil Service Board is why? And I ask again, why? Thank you.
Thank you.
The last one on the list is Daryl Cantor.
Well, guys, good evening. It's good talking to you. I know most of you, but I was just wanting to say I've been through both sides. I was here before the Civil Service Board and after. And before the Civil Service Board, I was started in 2001 as a meter reader, part-time. I was here. And during that time, my boss, which is Bobby Farley, got hurt during that time, tore his shoulder up. And during that time, while there was no Civil Service Board, there were several aldermen that was against him, that was wanting to move him out. And during that time, he felt pressure from that, and there's a few things had to happen during that time. Well, during that time, Ken Wiggins and several of the aldermen, they said we need to, I think they went together and said we need to do something. And they put together the Civil Service Board. One of the best things that's ever happened to us. Because it's changed so much about our jobs, it's changed culture, it's changed, I bet if you had Ella go and look up how many employees was lost pre-civil service and post, you'd see a big difference between each one, because I've been there like 20, I think close to 25 years. And since we have the Civil Service Board, you're not feeling that added pressure, and people are wanting to stay longer, and the culture's different. But you wouldn't believe how it was whenever you felt like you had tension about the board and stuff like that, and there's a big difference in that. And I tell you, people have stayed a lot longer, and there's not been as much turnover there. But since we've had it, it's just been so much better. Ken and the aldermen put the Civil Service Board in, and it's just so much better. People stay, it seems like they stay longer. It seems like whenever they hire people, that they have a process that they do, and they find out about that person, and they make good decisions on it, I believe. And it's just, it takes the politics out of it. I mean, you're worried about that, and sure, Yens can still hire and fire. I mean, they still talk to Yens about it and what they went through the process. This good process, I mean, it's a really good process. And whenever we go back to the old way, if you ever do, even if you ever think about it, you'll see the turnover, you'll see the culture for the city go down, and it's made it a lot better having the civil service board. And I hope and pray that you do not change this, because this is one thing that the city has, Aldermen, and that they've done, it's really helped us. And I just thank you for the time that you've let me speak, and I thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. I want to thank everybody that came out for public comment. Appreciate that. We'll address that when we get to that section. But we're going to start with committee reports. We had a water and sewer committee meeting.
We met last Thursday evening to discuss the water loss that we've had. We had 55% water loss last month, and Wayne and Bobby is working with the company to come in at the end of this month to track all the water leaks down. They said he's supposed to be here in March. Hopefully we can address those and get those fixed and get that water loss back down to a reasonable rate. Then we had a guy from Moonshot Missions, which is a nonprofit organization that comes in and does a water study that we've been paying $20-something thousand for. And he's in the process of getting all the numbers together, and he came and looked at all the water plants, the water reservoirs, our tank capacity, and talked with Dwayne and Tim down at the sewer plant. He's working on getting all that together, and hopefully we'll have another meeting and have something for you at the next meeting. Then we had 2 closeouts of the water treatment plant. Ms. Rita,
Yes, sir.
can you come and help with that?
Hello, everyone. Thank you. In our water sewer committee meeting, we brought up to close out your 2 existing contracts. It's the contract 123, Highway 70 water line extension that Mr. Mofield has completed finally, and then we had contract 120, which was your wastewater treatment plant. In order to do the final invoices for the grant money that's used on the wastewater plant, we have to submit a closeout, which is just adjusting quantities. This will be everything will get submitted to get all your grant money back once we submit this final closeout, and it'll just go back into any funds that we have coming back in, will go back into your water sewer funds. This final change order is for handrails, the chlorine contact, a desk that was requested in the lab area, some additional countertops in the lab, and a metal stand, which was accessed at the chlorine contact toward the outfall. So the final increase for the wastewater treatment plant was $6,383.87. That will be added to the request to get back through the ARP and your grant funds. And then we'll get all the other grant funds after we submit all the closeout documents to them, then they'll reimburse the town for the funds that's been spent. The second one is change order number 1 for contract 123, which was the Highway 70 water line addition that we went out to the city limits with. This one was just adjusting quantities on this one. We didn't have a change in scope. This was just paying the contractor for the lines and the materials that he put in the ground. And it was an additional $13,900. So we would just request approval for those 2 change orders for the full board that was approved at the water and sewer committee meeting to close out both of these contracts.
Motion.
Second.
But are you doing for both or for each? We didn't do each. Okay. So we have a motion on the table and a second to close out both change orders. Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Kevin Peters,
Yes.
Spencer Dale,
Yes.
Jim Whitaker,
Yes.
Larry Bennett,
Yes.
Cecilia Paulson,
Yes.
Jim Wolfram,
Yes.
Jamie Phillips,
Yes.
Bill Wiggins.
Yes.
All right, motion carries.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Zita.
I'll get original signatures from you tonight on those and send those on. Thank you.
All right. All right, next on here is approval of minutes. meeting. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
What do you want, a second?
Second.
All right. So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Next one, February 25th special call meeting. Need a motion and a second before we can do anything.
Make a motion. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Last and final one, the 25th, February 25th work session.
Motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, consider pay the bills.
Make a motion. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call, please.
Kevin Peters.
Yes.
Spencer Hale.
Yes.
Jim Whitaker.
Yes.
Larry Bennett. Cecilia Paulson.
Yes.
Jim Wolfram.
Yes.
Jody Phillips. Bill Williams.
All right, motion carries. So last thing on here is the reading, I'm sorry, not the last thing. The reading of ordinance 26883, an ordinance of the town of Monterey amending the 2026 budget.
Make a motion. Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, move on. Next thing on here is consider the street light quote. So the street lights came in at $78,696. That is 34 poles installed, done, and we would pay 25% of that. So roughly about $20,000 through the downtown improvement grant. So I'll need a motion and a second to discuss.
Motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second. Discussion? Yeah. This is what they were looking for. Each one of them would have a hanging basket to put flowers, and they all have outlets.
What was the age of the ones that were replacing?
No idea. I mean, Kevin Rafferty and I did the replacing of the banners and the bows and all that, and every single one of them is totally cracked.
I just think it's worth doing.
So, I mean, and then they're not replaceable from what I'm told. So if one goes down, we can't replace it. Plus, we have the availability to do with the grant funds, and that's gonna save us a ton of money. So, they're all LED.
Mayor, what actually covers, protects the light bulb? Is there some kind of housing over it or anything, or is it just like outdoors?
It's facing down, so it doesn't pollute the night.
Okay.
There you go. This is-
Okay, I can see it, okay. No, when I saw it.
Any other discussion?
Mayor, I
Sir.
don't know whether we should discuss this now or not, but when we talk about the match on that grant,
Yes, sir.
I would recommend to the board that we consider moving that Monterey Hometown Project money. It shows up in our monthly statements, 8,400 plus, and plow that into that match to soften it a little bit.
So that was set aside for entrance signs, correct?
That was set aside to celebrate Monterey's quadricentennial, if I said that appropriately.
Okay,
And we
because it's
put
a,
up the little snowflakes.
okay, so that's a different,
Yes, and it was considered for the holders at each entrance of Monterey from the major routes.
okay.
That's not even practical now. But that will be keeping in the spirit of that money, in my estimation. Anyway, we don't need to talk about that right now.
Right.
Just want to put that on the table.
Okay, thank you, Bill. So there's no further discussion. Let's just go roll call vote.
Kevin Peters,
Yes.
Spencer Dale,
Yes.
Jim Whitaker,
Yes.
Larry Bennett,
Yes.
Cecilia Paulson,
Yes.
Jim Wolfgram,
Yes.
Jamie Phillips,
Yes.
Bill Wiggins.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, so we need to consider a no turn on red at Holly and Commercial. If you guys have noticed, the state moved the stop line about 10 feet further back to give the trucks more room to turn. I'm sure Marty can testify to some happenings over there. But people are pulling up and turning and causing one heck of a traffic jam. And there's going to be an incident. So our suggestion is to put a no turn on red when you're turning from Holly onto Commercial.
South Holly.
Yes, so you're going South Holly, you're coming north, and you're going to turn onto Commercial. Yes. So I'll need a motion and a second. It does not have a no turn. The only thing it has is stop here on red, on the, where the line is. But
Mary, just to be clear, that's the only no right on the red. The other corners is, you can turn right.
we're only proposing the one,
Right, okay, just make it
because
clear.
it's very dangerous.
Yes, I agree.
I'm sorry?
Since it's a state road, is that up to us?
Yeah, we can put a sign.
No.
No, we can do it.
It's our traffic control.
It's their road, but it's our traffic, so we can put a sign.
Something else that might make it just a little bit safer, if people understand those diagonal lines along the Holly side of Charlotte, that doesn't mean park.
So
And,
we've asked the state if we could do those yellow, and they said no.
and another thing, people are, there is a law. Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, you gotta park so many feet from an intersection. I know parking is at a premium and people gotta take what they can get, but it's gonna be a calamity one of these days.
All right, so I still need a motion in a second.
I'll make a motion.
So,
All right, so we got a motion in a second. Do we want to discuss any more? All right, let's go for a roll, you don't need a roll call vote. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. He really doesn't like the sign. So, motion passes. All right, we'll start with the first charter revision. Remove the ability for the mayor to take the city recorder job. We got a motion?
say,
We got a second. So we can discuss it. Any discussion?
well, I think it makes sense.
Well, I think it makes sense now because you have to have a CMFO and, most mayors are not gonna have that. So,
We've seen that happen here before. Mayor took over.
yeah, I don't think that's right.
No, that.
Would you roll that over that the city recorder job falls to the office manager, CMFO, city administrator, take it, but.
Right, that's all we're doing.
It's gonna be appointed to someone's position.
We're just taking the language away. We already have a city recorder. That right now, the language says that the mayor can come in and take that job. So all we're doing is removing that language, or we can't remove it because the charter can't be changed, but if we do a privacy act, then that's what it takes. We would put in language stating that that is no longer relevant. Nothing else changes.
So does it automatically fall to the office manager?
Yeah, it'd be, I mean,
Automatically, it automatically delegated to that position?
I'm not,
How do you decide who's gonna be the city recorder?
the city recorder's already decided.
It's an employee.
Yeah,
It's an employee, but whose position? I guess is my question. Whose position is it?
The city recorder is still the city recorder.
yeah, it's,
I get that. Is it somebody that's appointed to that position? We know Ella's the city recorder, right? But does it tie into her current position? Or is it gonna be its own position that you have to delegate? Like, how do you decide who it's gonna be?
You have to be qualified to be a city recorder, right? You have to not have knowledge
I understand.
to do that. So it has to be.
I don't think I'm understanding your question, so I'm just gonna put it in layman's terms, right? So when you elect a mayor, the mayor can come in and say, Ella, you're gone, I'm now the city recorder. That's what that language says.
Yeah.
I'd like to supersede that language so that can't happen.
I understand that part. I was just trying to get, that job is automatically her job, like.
It is her, yeah, she is the city recorder.
She is the city recorder.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, by default, yes.
Now she understands.
Well, yeah, well, by 26 years. So. All right, we're gonna do roll call on that.
Kevin Peters,
Yes.
Spencer Dale,
Yes.
Jim Whitaker,
Yes.
Larry Bennett,
Yes.
Cecilia Paulson,
Yes.
Jim Wolfgram,
Yes.
Jamie Phillips,
Yes.
Bill Wiggins.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Next one. Mayor term from 2 years to 4 years.
Make a motion.
Got a motion? We have a second. Got a second. Discussion?
Every future has a past. What is wrong with the past? And I'm speaking as a former mayor because I would give testimony as soon as I hear the lie.
Oh, I mean, I'm just here to facilitate. I just brought it up because we're the only town in Putnam County to have a 2-year term.
That doesn't faze me.
I'm good either way. I'm just bringing it up. And it was brought up before. I believe in 2004 that it was brought up as well. I mean, like I said, I'm good either way. I'm just a facilitator at this point.
You know, why? Wait.
Sorry, what did you say?
Huh? Why do we want to change? I just want to hear some.
I'll give you my advice, my 2 cents, whatever it's worth. I think 2 years, you're kind of just getting your feet wet, getting started, and then you have to start all over again, if you want to. My opinion, that's all it's worth.
Any more?
If it ain't broke, why do you wanna fix it?
If we had that philosophy, we wouldn't move anywhere.
I mean,
When I first became mayor, yes, I had an agenda. And there were short-term and long-term goals. I never thought about the term. I just got busy from day one. I knew that some of those goals would not be realized in the short term. Had a great part, there were some others, but we got them started. And there's nothing wrong with getting something started and bequeathing it to future generations of elected folks to carry it out if they see fit. I never thought about it for 2 years. I found myself pretty well immersed after the first week in office. And I had to go back to the voters 2 more times. The third time, they said no. But to say there was nothing achieved, that's far from the truth.
That's not what I
I
said.
think time has anything to do with it. What it has to do with is work ethic and getting in it and working within the system. I finish.
I want to offer that I get your argument about accountability. I think that's important. But at the same time, the mayor has more singular impact on the board than anybody else. As far as like the guy leading the direction and all that stuff. If you got a good mayor, go get reelected. I think without an issue. If you got an awful mayor, it's going to be a long 4 years. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Yeah.
Good going, Jim.
A demonstration.
You know, Jim, I think these are just pros and cons either way. This 4-year term does give you more stability and continuity with the mayor to get the goals completed. At the same time, if you get a mayor that's not doing a very good job, that is a long 4 years. If you don't advocate, you can get them out in 2 years.
You can always get them out.
Maybe, can recall.
You know, I was sitting here, the response out there sounds like to me that rather keep it like it is. I think it's just like common sense. Blank for blank broke, no, please.
I heard that.
Yeah, go ahead and get him. Go ahead, man. Oh,
I said, Jim, you're putting words in my mouth. I didn't say that at all. Can we go back to the recording?
Is it that important?
No.
That's what I.
All right, any more discussion? All right, we'll put it to vote. Roll call.
Kevin Peters,
No.
Spencer Dale,
No.
Jim Whitaker,
No.
Larry Bennett,
No.
Cecilia Paulson,
No.
Jim Wolfram,
No.
Jamie Phillips, Bill Wiggins.
No.
All right, motion doesn't carry. So the next one is the city administrator.
Motion.
Motion.
I'll say.
Second. Let's talk about it. Anybody want to talk about it?
Well, I made the motion, I'm not talking.
I thought you made the motion so we could talk about it. So we just go right to vote?
Question.
Yeah.
So this role, if this comes to fruition in cultural administrator, I've heard it said the cultural administrator currently does a large number of tasks that this role does, correct?
Yes.
Has there been any type of task analysis, division of responsibilities or anything between the cultural administrator and the city administrator? And have you defined responsibilities between the two roles? I don't think it's a very cut and dry, just take responsibility from one and keep it to the other, because there's much more involved, I believe, in the two roles. And I have a concern about that.
I put this on the table just to open it up, and I share some of those same feelings that Cecilia expressed. That will come later. I made a big mistake the previous time that I want to see a pay package. That will come later too. But I'm going to tell you where I'm going to be. We're not going to cannibalize Monterey's workforce to make this work. We're not going to be abolishing positions, or I'm not going to vote for it. to accommodate this new concept, which I favor. But no, the work that has been done by people in the past to establish things and get things going and have a positive outlook and pass them along and confidence, not gonna betray that. But we're gonna do some serious talk, and we're gonna do a lot of selling on this concept.
I think as we become more visual to outside of Monterey, I mean, there's the response we get for the, all the festivals that we have. I mean, one person cannot do all that previous role has done and take care of the city on top of that. I can't be convinced that that can be a 2-for-1 role. There's way too much that's come to fruition in this town that requires one person to be attentive to it. So it can go the way it has been going, which I think has been fairly positive. And so we get a new role, create this new role, move somebody into it, and then ask them to do these new responsibilities, which I haven't seen a job description, and maintain your old ones and keep it at the level that you had it at.
So the idea, so the idea behind it was that you promote the cultural administrator into that position. You already have an assistant, they can take on some of those duties. It's there. It costs you roughly, we're throwing out numbers, an extra $30,000 a year in salary. So that's 0.3% of the budget. We find that's the extra cost it's costing. When you convert his salary into that new position, you already got somebody who can pick up some of that slack, and together they can handle the two jobs. That's the idea.
So maintaining 2 people for 2 positions.
And that's, yeah, never was considered a large position to do.
Okay, so I thought that was the conversation that you were.
Not to get rid of those positions to do it, no. I mean, you would just be promoting, just restructuring the cultural administrator and the city administrator. And the benefits of that, it gives you more oversight of the local government. One thing, if you look at every one of our audits that we have, one thing that the comptroller asked, or not comptroller, the auditor mentions is that we don't have another layer of financial oversight at this time. It's too much to put on one person. So that's something that's another benefit that the city administrator could provide. I mean, there's lots of,
I'm not questioning what the city administrator can provide. The question was came out of that session that the original thought process was combining, taking what was this person previously would have done in that role, added to this new role. And I can't in my mind figure out how you could ask somebody to do 2 jobs and keep it at A+ level for the growth that we are experiencing right now. So I'm surprised
I
with
don't
the
think
amount too.
yeah, there's another one of them. Hey, he's gonna get rid of this one person, and he's gonna, one person's gonna do 2 jobs, and then there's another, you always have an assistant, when you have that position ready to be raised. And so we should be asking that person to take on, one part would be like the board, and you actually create the job description.
We kind of need to look at division of labor right now. We gotta know what percentage of what he does now is already something that would dovetail into being a city manager. You know, I mean, is 80% of his job that, 60%? I don't know. That's what I get to figure out. Because then it won't be as big of a hit by converting the one culture administrative position into the city manager job. I still think we need to keep the other one, for sure. We got 2 of them. Keep one of them as is, and that person will probably end up inheriting some of the stuff that Reverend's doing now as the other cultural administrator. But I guess we gotta know how much, what percent of his time already is taken up by that. I don't know. I know what you're saying.
Then I hear we're not gonna abolish concession, but then I hear we're gonna provide tasks. I'm coastal administrator assistant. And after we're through, coastal administrator, city manager one, assistant, jobs gone.
Well, there's a couple different combinations we can look at. I mean, right now we have two cultural administrators and no city managers. So what I'm proposing, we keep one of them and make the other one a city manager, with divvying up the responsibility. Or like you're saying, you want to keep two of them and the city manager. I don't think we can quote that personally.
I don't want to mess with the structure now. The city manager, y'all, just looking ahead, he's gonna be mired. Drainage, decaying water lines, parking, a ton of other things. And I just don't see that blending with a cultural administrative position. Entirely two different names.
The primary focus was these, the city administrators. But some of those duties, like he already does, is the face of the town of a lot of the meetings. Your chamber, I mean, he's representing us in a lot of these meetings, committees that he deals with. That's, I mean, he'd still be doing those type of things. You've got two positions now. If you do it this way, you still have two positions. You don't lose rotation.
Well, observing at the depot, since I loiter down there a lot, don't diminish what Jonathan Phillips is doing in his absence. And I could go on and delineate exactly what I'm talking about. So, whoa, Rafferty is not completely divorced, but there's a big vacuum that Jonathan is filling.
I think at this point, we have to decide what's more important to the city. Do we need somebody who can manage this, help manage this city, and all the growth that we're doing? Or do we want to keep allocating those resources to people?
What resources are we allocating to the city?
What's your argument for keeping people at the depot, but like, I get it, again, we hashed this the other day, that the depot doesn't mean as much to everybody else as it does to some. Yes, it's a great part of the city, but we have a city that we have to run. And we need somebody to help run it. And we've got more responsibility that somebody needs to take on, that the mayor can't take on. It's
It's kind of like playing musical chairs. We can't afford three. If we're talking about three people, we can't afford three people. We can afford two. So we just sit down.
I'd rather my tax dollars pay for the city.
Can I ask a question? Are you wanting to shut down the depot?
Absolutely not.
Well,
Why is it?
then you're gonna have somebody running it, and Jonathan is there. And he can run it.
We're not saying
It can't just be primarily the depot.
We're not saying that.
He can't primarily be the depot.
No, because
How many hours a depot gonna be open?
that would be up to figuring this out when you come up with a job description. We're not making a job description tonight, we're making the decision whether we change the charter to accept that position.
So the depot's only gonna be open 4 hours a day? What about the people coming into town?
What about the depot society? How about they come in some?
Don't have time.
Like, we have limited resources and we have employees that are gonna need to run the city.
You owe a lot of people a lot of money there. We're not asking for it.
Well, the motion is for city manager, this battle will come later.
There you go.
And I am ready. About tonight.
Any other discussion?
Mayor, I'm not ready to vote on this myself. I think we were, take some more time, discuss this and get all our ducks in order here, because this, I'm not ready myself. And obviously this, it's a lot more to it. Everybody's got their own different opinion. But, I think it would benefit from the city administrator, yeah. I know it's cost a lot of money here, for different things, from
have a motion and a second. And then we have to take this and give it to the legislature.
Right.
They have to give it back to us, and then we can ratify it. So that gives us a couple months to figure it out, nail it out, get it all straightened out. But if we don't vote on this tonight, then we won't have time to send it to the legislature. Because they only meet till mid-April.
Just to clarify, we're only voting on whether we change our form of government to accept this position. This position hasn't been created, we don't have job descriptions, we don't have college, we don't have effective start dates, we don't have any of that. That's something the board will have to hash out once it's approved, even have the position. That's a whole different. This is just.
You think when you say 2 months, you think we can do that in 2 months?
I think we can hash it out. Couple of work sessions. I don't see why not. I don't see why not.
So if we don't vote on it tonight, then forget the article about it, be too late.
Correct.
And if we do vote it, and just say pass, then it's not necessarily, that's the way it's gonna be, it's just set up.
It won't be changed until legislature sends it back to us and we ratify. We'd have to have a second vote.
So the second vote, say yea or nay.
The legislature is just gonna structure our agenda, Larry.
Right. They're just gonna rubber stamp it, and then we'll have to get it back and do another vote.
So we wouldn't be really committing anything until the second time come around to, we either vote no, or
We're just getting engaged.
so.
Not yet.
That seems a little easier there, as long as you think, we'll definitely stand, that's what we're gonna do, you know.
No.
Just gotta clear 2/3 votes, I think.
2/3 vote. I believe it was 2004 when the board sent this to legislature, it got sent back and then was not ratified. So we've already been down, Monterey's already been down this path before. They sent it to legislature, it came back, and it was not approved.
So if there is a chance we could work something out to where it would work, and everybody be happy with it, then we can ratify it.
That's right.
If not, we lost nothing except for time.
That's correct.
We're gonna create a reputation down there.
You may have already created.
I hope they don't have long memories.
It's possible. Don't know until you try. So, any more discussion? All right, let's go for a vote. Roll call.
Kevin Peters,
Yes.
Spencer Dale,
Yes.
Jim Whitaker,
Yes.
Larry Bennett,
Yes.
Cecilia Paulson,
Yes.
Jim Wolfram,
Yes.
Jamie Phillips,
Yes.
Bill Wiggins.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Now we'll get to the last one of the night, is the civil service board. I'll make a motion.
Now, is this for
You keep it simple.
the apology or?
Well, that's.
This would be to repeal it.
That'll be his motion, whatever he makes.
Yeah, well, I guess you have your motion.
You made a motion to accept the.
Everybody understand that, Spencer?
I would make a motion to keep it.
Well, if we make a motion to keep it, we don't even have to make a motion.
Yeah.
Then I will make a motion.
If there's no motion made, we don't talk about it,
I'm
so.
making a motion to abolish it.
All right, motion.
Figure it out.
Let's see if there's a second.
Do that.
It's its own thing.
If there's no second, we don't go forward. Going once, going twice. All right, no second. All right, we're gonna go.
Thank you. So then we have a motion on this same, make a referendum, have a referendum. Let the citizens decide. The citizens,
You can make a
we
motion.
represent the citizens, that's who we represent, and if that's what they
right, guys, please, we're still having a meeting.
You're talking about who? Are you talking about a citizen, or are you talking about somebody that works for the city?
No, citizens,
Well, that has, they're not impacted by it.
but it's their town. And they've been, the decisions for them have been taken away from them, is what they, the feeling is it's been taken away from them to make a decision about their town. This is their town.
They don't hire or fire.
No, but they elected people to run the town, and that's was taken away from those folks.
People that
It boils down to this, Mr.
people
Bill.
that elected have just decided that they want civil service board.
So it boils down to this, if citizens, there's people that the citizens won't know, and they know they can't get them fired, that's why they don't have the civil service board. That's why. But again,
You're
we
locking
said.
down the city, so they're trying to take that away. Raise your motion, whatever you want. but
I'm not ready, if we can, at this point, to reconsider to put it in one of their ordinance, let the citizens decide, that's how they need to go now.
I heard one constituent tell me they despise having some street board. If you've got a body here that is objective, definitively objective, has no vested interest in these positions, hear me out. They have no vested interest, they're not a department head. Okay, these people don't report to them. They have an objective pattern in order to hire, fire, and discipline. Okay, there's a reason for that. It takes any favoritism, any nepotism, any of that, takes it out. Okay? Yeah. But if you're constantly leaning towards one person, if there's that relationship, that's on the city to get together and determine how we're gonna fix that. But you don't wipe out an entire body. That takes the emotion out of it and addresses it. You just, like she said, it's no cost to the citizen. There's none. Okay? Maybe I'm singular in this, but it's just like, it makes no sense.
If there's such an undercurrent of concern, we need to advise these citizens that they can petition this board. Step up, put a face on it, just like we have ours, and say, hey, we want this to go for a referendum. So let the word go forward, that citizens can get together, form a petition, sign it, come here and lobby for it. Let's give them a voice, if it's that strong of an undercurrent.
I was gonna say that, but you said it better, so. If folks feel strongly enough, you can always have a redress of grievances or bring it up to folks, but they'll know this.
They feel strongly enough about it, why aren't they here? But
Yeah.
they want to-
Citizens can, if they feel that's right, they can do it too, so.
Well, as a representative, and just tell them this is what your options are. Move forward, and force the referendum. I'm done chatting.
There's an election coming up shortly.
All right. We're done with that? All right. So I'm gonna do mayor updates, and the first one's gonna be Jerry Warren.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm not accustomed to having such a full house, but I'll be short. I started out that way, so it won't be any problem. I just wanted to give y'all a couple of updates on the projects that we are assisting the town with.
One is the tap project for the trail. Right now, as of, I think, a few weeks ago, we've gotten the last easement that we're waiting on. And right now, we are kind of doing what I call the final cleanup on the plans to resubmit those to TDOT so they can review those. They typically have some comments. Hopefully, we've addressed most of those before, but we're trying to get that into them as soon as possible. We're also just like updating the cost estimates and things like that to go with that. They have several forms that they'll ask for, and we'll try to fill out those forms and get them back to them when they ask. For the second update, we're also working on the ARP stormwater project. I guess what I would call the first piece of that, which was cleaning out Stamps Hall Creek. That work is basically done. We're just kind of monitoring that to see if there's any areas that we need to, pay any more attention to while we still have a contract for it. But as part of that work, we were able to add some additional drainage improvements at the park to fill in the ditch that's between the park and East Commercial, because that ditch is about hip deep on me, 3 feet deep on regular people. But it's right now we got approval for that from the ARP funding folks, and the pipe and structures have been ordered. We have the TDOT permits in hand. We're ready to go through paperwork on all of that. So that should, if pipes and structures come in, that should begin in about 4 weeks. As part of the ARP, we were also tasked with developing an asset management / inventory for stormwater, which we have kind of been doing that a little bit at a time as we were working on drainage projects. What we're doing now is we're adding to that. If you see some surveyors around town, what we're doing is we're trying to go and locate storm structures. We're looking at any problem areas. We have had different citizens spoke with Ms. Hammond today, and there's been some other folks that are calling. We're asking for people to call us, and when we're walking around the streets, our surveyors may get questions. We get some questions. We just try to kind of take all that into account. What we're trying to do is to identify areas. We have some budget remaining. I don't know how far it will go yet, because we're trying to determine exactly what the bigger issues are and set some priorities for that. But the other part of this is to develop programs going forward with this inventory and issues identified. We can seek out additional funding, because now some of the funding agencies always look toward water and wastewater. That was the only two kinds of water. But now everybody's recognizing that stormwater is a huge component. So that's becoming more of something that's available, that funding is out there, and we can track that down. So those are the areas that I had. Be glad to take any questions. Be glad to sit back down. I'm good either way.
Jerry,
Yes,
this may be an overstatement, but from Chestnut across Holly, Railroad over Copper down to Walnut, that's our big sports stormwater.
can't argue with the man speaking the truth, Bill. Yes, that is it's a big area. It's a big concern, because there's a lot of water that's coming to that area between, really kind of starting at Chestnut, and we've been chasing down the drainage areas. There's a couple of areas there that are, well, they're just low. and we're trying to figure out if there's a way that we can get the water. There are some structures under poly. They're kind of flat, so they don't have a lot of capacity. So we have talked to the adjacent property owner there, Mr. Jared, and he has been receptive to if we had to do some type of detention, pipes underground or some. Right now we're determining what things look like, so we can figure out what the best steps and the most cost-effective steps are.
They are already working there. Cumberland Container, he has set up divisions, departments in there. Trucks are backing into the port today. So he's got people working there, so he definitely has plans, and we put a lot of water on, as well as those people down there.
The only thing I would say is I don't know that the city put the water on him. I think the water just got there. But we're trying to look at everybody. We want to help everybody, and I wish we could just fix all the problems, but that's going to take a little bit. And it's sure going to take probably more money than we have. But the big issue, and this is something that we've always said, and I want to repeat it again, I don't want to look at fixing one problem and create more problems downstream, because we can maybe get water away from one property owner, but I don't want to affect 10 more. And that's always a big concern, and we just kind of have to work everything backwards and forwards, sometimes sideways. But we're looking at it, but it's not an easy thing, so. But
I'm no engineer, but I think that's gonna be one of those projects where you start downstream and you come back. Otherwise, you're really gonna.
we have on some, and that may be where we get to. I'm not going to, I haven't ruled anything in or out, but I appreciate your wisdom. You've been here a day or two longer than I have. But
I'd say a lot of highway.
I'd say so. But I'd be glad to take any other questions if anyone has it.
The tap grant, can you elaborate on the timelines of where you are on the tap grant a little more? When do you expect?
If we can get everything submitted, like say in the next week or two, back to them, then really from that point, we're dependent upon their time frame. But if we can get it turned around, then our goal would be to try to get it out for bid. I would hope later this spring. That's in my mind the goal, and hopefully, that will go well on their review.
Is there an estimation on like a time of construction, how long it can take to do the project? Is there any?
It's, I don't recall the exact time frame. It's on some of the other sections of trail. This piece usually takes like a month or two if everything goes well. If there's any issues, sometimes it can take a little bit longer. If you get a contractor that can work all things simultaneously, then it takes less time. So it's, I don't think there's any hard and fast rule on that. So.
You serve us well, sir.
Well, I appreciate your comments, and we will certainly try to continue doing so. We just appreciate y'all giving us the opportunity to do that. I always want to say that. We don't get to do anything if y'all don't ask us to. So, thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank y'all.
All right. Chief, did you want to touch on this report?
I just always want to give you that. It was a slow month just because of the weather. It's cold, not many people out, so the tickets was down a little bit. I just like to give you all an update on what's going on.
And just to touch on a little bit, is Rafferty doing his job, reminding me of stuff. On the TAP grant, we do have full support from the school system. They've given us easements to do that project as well, so that's a good thing. A couple things I have. I know most of you know, but I'm putting it out on Facebook. O'Reilly was open last week, so please go support them. Over at Nathan Walker Sports Complex, Bobby and the guys have started putting up the backstops for the soccer goal. So now if the ball gets kicked over the soccer goal, it doesn't go into the parking lot or into the street. So, and then the lights project, we got poles dropped on the ground today, the 2 poles we needed, and they'll be here on Monday to start the lights. So we should have those lights up in the next 2 weeks, I'm hoping.
Have you heard any word on the bases at the Navy?
I have not heard anything about the bases.
Third base is gone, first base is about halfway in the left field.
Oh, I was there today and first base was kind of where it needs to be. Maybe they moved it.
We were gonna have practice there Friday afternoon and had to move to the wet high school field because first base, I think he was sitting right at the edge of the grass, third base is completely gone.
First time hearing of it. I will tell you that I was there today and somebody has chosen to graffiti the concession stands with chalk. Not sure what that's about, but the chalk was still laying on the ground. Yeah. So we also have our Easter celebration coming up, which we'll be doing an egg drop, which I think is going to be kind of cool. I'll be dropping eggs out of the helicopter for that. And then we have the Banana Pudding Festival coming up as well. So those are all things that are going to happen before the next meeting. Just want to kind of give you guys a reminder. That's all I got. Does anybody have any other business? I think we've discussed a lot of business. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming.